Hello Internet, my name is Lave and I watched Their Finest, which is based off a book called Their Finest Hour and a Half. This is directed by Danish director Lone Scherfig, who also directed An Education, amongst other films. Her latest is set in Britain in the 1940s during the Blitz, and the Ministry of Information, which is an organisation set up to control the news and monitor public awareness of the war, are worried that their latest propaganda shorts and films aren't boosting the morale of the general public and isn't calling women to join the war effort in the way they'd hoped. So they recruit a young Welsh woman called Mrs. Catherine Cole, who's living in London with her partner, who has a knack for writing and in particular capturing the everyday woman. She begins working on a few of their shorts, but then eventually she forms part of the team that are charged with creating a feature-length film about Dunkirk, and so this film becomes a film about making a film. And in general, I really like films like that. I have a real soft spot for them. In many ways, this film really reminded me of Son of Rambo, which is another British film about making a film. This film has got just as much charm as Son of Rambo. If you liked that, you will definitely like this. But unlike Son of Rambo, this film is actually commentating on more grown-up themes like propaganda and the moral implications that the characters face whilst bending the truth. And it's also got a very strong feminist message, which is looking at the attitudes towards women in the 1940s and 50s, which unfortunately rings true today. Mrs. Cole is told in her interview that obviously she can't be paid as much as the chaps, so she's going to get £2 a week and ha ha ha, woof woof, now tidy up. This is all reinforced by some really good female actresses in this. Rachael Stirling plays a hard-nosed assistant already working at the Ministry of Information. I particularly liked Helen McCrory, who's playing a film agent working alongside Bill Nighy's aging actor. But this is unquestionably Gemma Arterton's movie, and she does carry it. She is the heart and soul. I thought she was really terrific. I was a little bit unsure about her Welsh accent at first, but eventually I was won over by it, much like Sam Claflin's character Tom Buckley, who is her writing partner, who is very narrow-minded of her, particularly at the beginning of the film, but then he recognises her talents, and they both realise that their mutual admiration for each other is more than just a working relationship. The chemistry between the two is really very good. I really bought into it. There are a host of other good performances and characters from some legendary British actors like Richard E. Grant, Eddie Marsan, Jeremy Irons even has a cameo at one point. But the one who's making all the headlines is Bill Nighy's character Ambrose Hilliard, who is a self-absorbed fading TV star who reluctantly is cast in the motion picture. On the surface, you might think that this is just like every other Bill Nighy performance. It's very similar to Love Actually. He does also manage to squeeze in a couple of his trademark Bill Nighy snorts. Don't get me wrong, he does have some really funny moments, but he does have some more serious, heartfelt moments as well, which just made the character more rounded and gave him more depth. But really, that's how I describe the rest of the film. It's funny, but with some really dramatic moments, and it also sort of goes meta as well. So the Ministry of Information are constantly telling their staff that they want an authentic, enthusiastic and optimistic picture, and the director Lone Scherfig is trying to do the same thing. Now, like many other films that are set in the Blitz, they tend to have a rose-tinted view of it, and they concentrate on the sense of community and the coming together and the very British keep calm, carry on mentality. Don't get me wrong, that is in this and it does it well, and that's where the enthusiasm and optimism comes from, but it doesn't forget about the authenticity. The Blitz was an incredibly hard time. Bombs were dropped, people were killed, and it doesn't shy away from that. It shows it, and there is an impending sense that any of the characters in this film could be next. But this film is billed as a comedy, and it is funny. I do need to stress that. I think it's at its best and most fun when they start production on their picture, particularly when they realise that they can use the film to persuade America to join the fight. So in order to do that, they go out and find an American RAF pilot who can't act to save his life, which leads to very funny scenes, but it also means that they have to change the script to try and make him the hero. And that's what's great about it. You see the script evolve, you even even see them imagining how this film is going to be, but then you actually see it coming together piece by piece. What's really cool is that you get to see all of the old school techniques, from the cell paintings to the miniatures that they use. I really like the fact that they actually go to Pinewood Studios to film the water scenes. You really get to see this film come together piece by piece, and it's a real joy to watch. It's got that typical 40s campy style, but it's brilliant. I want to watch that film as well. So that's my thoughts on Their Finest, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. I genuinely wasn't expecting much from this film and was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It's a wonderfully charming, utterly British, bittersweet film which is well executed, well acted. It's funny and heartfelt. I had a bit of a tear in my eye. I actually think that I'm going to buy this on Blu-ray when it comes out. You should go and see it. So thanks very much for watching my review of Their Finest. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give this video a like, and don't forget to share the lave. Woof woof, tally ho.